Here is a real quick tour for you on the Apple desktop. So once you've logged in, you'll see a background image and some icons possibly on your desktop. The taskbar down below, which is called the dock on Apple. So down in the dock, you'll have quick access to some of your frequently used apps, and you can customize that as you go. I would highly recommend putting Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop down there, and I'll show you momentarily how to do that. In the upper left-hand corner of your computer, the Apple is always showing. And so when you click on the Apple, that's going to give you access to system preferences, but also this menu is one that you're going to access every day when you're quitting. And so if you click on Restart, that will log you out, it'll restart the computer, run any updates that need to happen, and get it ready for the next student. So always use Restart when ending your session. On the upper right-hand corner, you'll have the day and time, as well as some other icons as well. This magnifying glass, when you click on that, brings up Spotlight. Spotlight is a really useful tool just to find any files or folders or apps that you want to use. So, for instance, if you're looking for Chrome and you want to access that, you can click on that and it'll pop up the top hit and then some other different options where Chrome may have been used in the past. Another way to access that is by pressing Command and Spacebar. And so that'll always bring up Spotlight Search. So either Command Spacebar or just go up and click on the magnifying glass to bring that up. When you are working with a program, so for instance, this app down here, Adobe Illustrator, is one that you'll end up using a lot. It will pull up the app in a window. And in a Windows machine, the controls for minimizing or closing it out are over on the right. But on the Apple computer, you have a red dot, which closes it, a yellow dot that minimizes it, and then this green dot, which expands it to be the entire size of the screen. So if I click on that, it'll pull it all the way up, and that's the only thing that I see. Or if I want to switch quickly in between windows, when I click on that dot, again, I'm able to kind of resize it and move it around freely. So it's kind of up to you. We have such big screens that it's kind of nice, I think, to be able to kind of go back and forth between other programs. The way that you customize down here, we'll get to that momentarily, but there's this smiley face or two faces, depending on how you look at it, called the Finder. When you click on that, that brings up sort of a window that has kind of a roadmap to your apps. I'm going to actually just minimize this window in the back so it doesn't get distracting. And you can resize those windows as you need just by mousing over the corner, and you'll see the pointer turn into a double arrow, and you can make it bigger or smaller depending on what you want. But in the Finder, you're able to access different areas on your computer. And if I want to see what apps I have on the computer, I'll click on Applications, and that'll bring up all the different applications that are on there. I can change my view from thumbnails. If I click on that, it brings up just the different thumbnails. And this is where you're able to bring your app down into the dock. So, for instance, one app that I'd like to get into is Adobe Bridge. In this case, this is a folder, so make sure that you're actually dragging an app down there. So what I need to do is to open up that folder by double-clicking it. And then if I click and drag that down to the dock, I can then just leave it down there to use. So You can customize that for the apps that you use a lot. In this case, we're going to be using Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop primarily. So just double click on that, and then you can bring Adobe Photoshop 2021 down into the dock. This can access other areas on your computer. One that you're probably going to use a lot is downloads. So when you click on downloads, all of those downloads are going to show up. And it looks like, honestly, I could probably do with cleaning out my downloads folder, because there's a lot of stuff that was even from last year. I'll scroll all the way down. I have it organized by date. Yeah, even November 30th, 2020 is in my downloads bar, or downloads folder. If you want to erase a file that's in a folder, you can click and drag on all of those files that you want to erase. In this case, there's going to be a whole bunch. And so what I'm going to do when I get down to the bottom, I'm going to release the drag and then click on the blue and hold it. And I'm going to drag all of those into my trash can, which is in the dock. And so once those are in the trash, I can then click on the trash can icon, open it up, and if I want to empty it, then I can just free up some space by clicking empty trash. There we go. And then this brings me back to how I have my icons organized. You should probably begin thinking about keeping your folders pretty organized. And one way to do that is in your documents. By adding a new folder, you can simply right-click and choose New Folder. Maybe give this a name. If you're in digital arts, giving it my name, Digital Arts folder. I can double-click on it, and then I have access to it. So that's one way to create a new folder within a folder. Or if you want to do one on the desktop, you can do that as well by right-clicking, choose New Folder. Something that Apple does that's pretty handy is it gives you Launchpad. And when you click on Launchpad, again, that's just another way to access all the different apps that are on the computer. And from there, you can actually just drag the app that you want down into your dock. So if I want to put Adobe Animate down there, if I think I'm going to get into animation, I might want to do something like that. So a lot of different ways to access your folders, to access your desktop, and get comfortable with it. I think it's just going to take a little bit of practice. Essentially, again, it's not rocket science, but it is going to take a little bit of learning. If you've minimized one of your programs that you have open, like for instance, I've got downloads, I've got search results in Google Drive, and then I've also got Adobe Illustrator. The minimized or collapsed versions are still running in the background, they're just not open. So when you tap on that, then it can open up really easy. And then if you want to hide it again, all you have to do is minimize it. So hopefully that helps with your understanding of how to use Apple computers.